What's up, YouTube? DJ Kryptonite here. I had to make one more video this morning because something was eating at me a little bit. Anyway, like, subscribe, comment. But I wanted to go back a couple weeks to the Tank Davis, Devin Haney weekend. I was a bit, I was thrown off a little bit because Tank Davis was actually fighting on a Sunday. I just didn't quite understand that, but I gave it some thought. And I may be rambling on this one, but I gave it some thought. And Devin Haney has a history with Floyd Mayweather. He's known Floyd Mayweather, been in his gym training since he was 7 years old. So he's been fighting or under Floyd's tutelage or in his gym or working out in close proximity to Floyd for a very, very long time. And I think Floyd has some sort of allegiance to the Haneys. Devin Haney's dad and Devin. And some loyalty to him, I would assume at this point, because they're still very close. Because Devin Haney still works out with Floyd from time to time. And I was trying to figure out, why would you put Tank Davis on a Sunday of all days? Meaning Sunday, you're competing with the NFL. For one, you can't fight during the day, of course, because the NFL dominates all of the ratings from 1 o'clock on with those first two games, the 1 and the 4 o'clock games. And now that they have Sunday Night Football, which starts at 8 o'clock, that's a big buzzsaw that you have to run into if you're trying to compete for ratings and viewership and that sort of thing. And I was either it's arrogance on the part of Mayweather Promotions to think that you can pull fans from football, even though it's a different clientele, maybe a different clientele. Some of it overlaps a little bit, I'm sure. But to take the chance to overlap your pay-per-view with free NFL football, which is the biggest sport in the U.S. Because it's bigger than baseball now. Baseball is not America's sport; it's football. Football is king right now. So my concern is, why would you do that? It's been bothering me for the past 2 weeks, and then I thought about it. I was like, you know what makes sense? I think Mayweather Promotions decided that, hey, Tank has a pretty decent following. He gets paid regardless. Sell out. He probably sold out the arena, quite possibly. I don't think they were too much concerned about getting maximum viewership, other than they just wanted to just get the fight over with. It was a last-minute replacement in this fight. So I think they just wanted to get this fight moving. And the other thing, and really, promoters aren't in the business to lose money. And quite frankly, I think they may have lost money and deferred some of those payments to Tank for a later date, because there is no way that he made those numbers to accumulate the money that they're potentially paying Tank Davis, because they're calling him must-see TV or the face of boxing, future face of boxing. Excuse me. So my theory behind this whole thing is, I think Floyd took an L for Devin Haney because they didn't want to put them head-to-head on the same night of boxing, because they know Devin Haney's numbers would have suffered tremendously if Tank Davis was fighting on the same night as Devin Haney. Because Devin Haney is really not a household name. Tank Davis is a bigger draw at this point. And good, bad, or ugly, that's just the nature of the business right now, and just where they are as boxers. So I think that Floyd Mayweather made a strategic decision to ensure that Devin Haney's numbers continued to grow, or at least stabilize, as the sole option on that Saturday. And Tank Davis took an L viewership-wise to fight on that Sunday. And I think that was negotiated between Haney Haney's team or group and Mayweather Promotions. Because anytime you have the opportunity to outshine DAZN, who actually aired Haney's fight, as PBC, you want to look for opportunities to drag them at some point. Just drag them, show them who's the bigger promotion company, who's the big dog in the business. And that was the ideal opportunity to do that. And they chose not to. And I think they chose not to because of the fighter that was actually fighting that night. And that was Devin Haney, who has a very close affiliation to Floyd Mayweather, who in turn is Mayweather Promotions. So I think it was kind of a let me cut these guys some slack, because this guy's like my nephew, he's family. I'm not going to steal any thunder from him. I refuse to do that. And we'll take the L on a Sunday, because ultimately they really took a loss by airing this fight on Sunday. It made no business sense, and for Ellerbe to even say otherwise is asinine. You can just ignore his comments, because he knows boxing historically has been on a Saturday night, and Tank Davis is big business and must-see TV, so why wouldn't you air him on Saturday unless you had some sort of obligation to the other fighter who doesn't have such a large audience, and you're trying to grow that guy as well. And not to mention, it's not even a part of your promotion company, and you were willing to take a loss not to step on DAZN. That's a bit. It's something that was occurring behind the scenes on that one, and that's honorable of Floyd Mayweather Promotions not to step on Haney's night, but ultimately you shot yourself in the foot by not getting the monetary. You didn't maximize the dollar by putting Tank on a Sunday, because nobody competes with the NFL. That's just common sense. You just don't do that. And I think they were willing to take that loss just to help Haney grow his numbers with DAZN. That's just my theory. Maybe it's a little off, but that's where I am with it. I don't know. It's just odd. Either move it to another weekend, or just fight on the same night. You don't compete with a buzzsaw that is the NFL. You just don't do that. And Ellerbe claims to be such a businessman, and that was the most asinine decision I've ever seen in my life. So anyway, let me know what your thoughts are. Comment, like, subscribe, all that jazz. And you guys have a great day. Fight Doctor out.